Extraordinary images tonight, the scare for visitors at Yellowstone National Park, the very close call with a geyser raining down rock and debris.
Look at this. A Yellowstone geyser suddenly exploded. Boiling water and rocks rained down, damaging a pedestrian boardwalk.
Yellowstone's Biscuit Basin just turned into a scene straight out of an action movie. On July 23rd, visitors were left in shock as a massive plume of steam, rock, and mud shot hundreds of feet into the air. This wasn't a volcanic eruption, but a dramatic hydrothermal explosion. The sheer power of the blast was both breathtaking and terrifying. Scientists at Yellowstone stress this was a random, unpredictable event. But could it be a hint of something bigger? The Yellowstone supervolcano, a sleeping monster, holds the potential for catastrophic eruptions. What if it suddenly erupted tomorrow? Could this explosion be a prelude to something far more dangerous? Stay tuned as we unravel the mysteries of one of nature's most powerful forces. Yellowstone National Park is a vast recreational area in the United States, covering almost 9,000 square kilometers. Most of Yellowstone lies in Wyoming, but it also stretches into neighboring states Montana and Idaho. But long before it became a national park, the land was the domain of Native American tribes like the Crow, Shoshone, and Blackfeet. These tribes had a profound connection with the terrain, utilizing its geothermal marvels for cooking, healing, and other essential practices. Their deep understanding of Yellowstone's landscapes and respect for its natural power were unparalleled. Fast forward to the early 19th century, and the European-American exploration of Yellowstone begins. The Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804 to 1806, though not directly venturing into Yellowstone, set the stage for future explorers by charting nearby regions and igniting curiosity about the American West. The first documented exploration of Yellowstone by non-Native Americans came with the Cook-Folsom-Peterson expedition in 1869. This small group unveiled the park's wonders to the world, detailing geysers, hot springs, and breathtaking scenery, laying the groundwork for greater things to come. The real turning point arrived with the Hayden Geological Survey of 1871, led by geologist Ferdinand V. Hayden. This federally funded expedition was pivotal. Hayden and his team of artists, photographers, and scientists spent months meticulously surveying Yellowstone's unique features. Their comprehensive reports and stunning visuals captured the nation's imagination. Hayden's efforts were crucial in persuading Congress to protect this incredible area. Just a year later, in 1872, President Ulysses S. Grant signed the act establishing Yellowstone as the world's first national park, aiming to preserve its unique geological and ecological wonders for future generations. So what makes Yellowstone so extraordinary? It's a geological marvel, showcasing some of Earth's most spectacular geothermal features. The park is renowned for its geysers, hot springs, and fumaroles. Old Faithful, perhaps the most famous geyser globally, mesmerizes visitors with its towering water eruptions every 60 to 90 minutes. Yet, Yellowstone's geothermal activity extends far beyond Old Faithful, making it a treasure trove of natural wonders. And recently, one of those wonders went kaboom without any warning. A geyser at Black Diamond Pool in Biscuit Basin erupted with such force that it blasted water and rock debris up to 600 feet into the air. This incredible eruption took place on July 23rd. Just 2 miles northwest of the iconic Old Faithful geyser. The eruption was sudden, catching scientists off guard as there were no warning signs detected by their monitoring equipment. Following this dramatic hydrothermal explosion, the Biscuit Basin area has been closed off for the rest of the summer. Researchers who examined the rock fragments ejected during the eruption discovered they were composed of glacial materials. Interestingly, no bedrock from about 175 feet deep was thrown out, indicating that the explosion was quite shallow. Despite the ferocity of the eruption, the damage was surprisingly limited. Most of the debris were propelled towards the Firehole River, away from the nearby boardwalk where tourists were standing. Experts believe a blockage in the underground hydrothermal system beneath Biscuit Basin was the likely trigger for this explosive event. Now, could Yellowstone's recent geyser activity be a harbinger of something far more menacing? You see, Yellowstone sits atop a colossal volcano, so massive it's known as a supervolcano. Spanning roughly 50 by 70 kilometers, this giant last erupted around 640,000 years ago. The unnerving reality? Scientists believe it's not a matter of if, but when it will erupt again. And when it does, the devastation could be unimaginable. A supervolcano is in a league of its own, capable of eruptions far more explosive than any ordinary volcano. We're talking about ejecting more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of volcanic rock and ash. To put that into perspective, that's about 50 times more powerful than the 1883 eruption of Krakatoa in Indonesia, which killed over 36,000 people, mostly from the resulting tsunamis. If Yellowstone were to blow, the immediate area would face catastrophic destruction. But the fallout wouldn't stop there. The aftermath could unleash dire consequences not just for North America, but for the entire world. So how likely is Yellowstone to erupt again? This supervolcano has already blown its top 3 times. 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and most recently around 640,000 years ago. While these dates seem ancient, geologists are certain that Yellowstone will eventually unleash another colossal blast. Beneath the national park lie 3 overlapping calderas. Derived from the Spanish word for cauldron, calderas are vast, bowl-shaped depressions formed by past eruptions. When a supervolcano erupts, the sheer volume of molten lava and rock causes the ground to collapse, creating these massive craters. Calderas are not unique to Yellowstone. They dot the globe from North and South America to New Zealand, Russia, and Indonesia. These ancient eruptions offer scientists a glimpse into what might happen if Yellowstone erupts again. Here's how it would unfold. A plume of heat would rise from deep within the Earth's mantle, melting rocks in the crust above, creating magma. This magma forms a chamber filled with semi-solid rock, water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide, and other gases. Over thousands of years, as more magma is added, the ground above slowly bulges, forming a dome. Pressure builds, causing cracks and fractures. Eventually, this volatile mix bursts through the surface in a cataclysmic explosion, much like a bottle of soda erupting after being shaken. Currently, the crust and mantle beneath Yellowstone are mostly solid. Although hot, they haven't yet transformed into liquid magma, which is essential for an eruption. Scientists estimate that for an eruption to occur, the underlying chambers need to be at least 50% magma. While this is just an estimate, since no supervolcano has erupted in human history, an increase in magma could spell trouble. For now, though, Yellowstone remains a sleeping giant, but the potential for an eruption keeps geologists vigilant. The predicted fallout from a massive eruption at Yellowstone is nothing short of catastrophic. For starters, anyone close to the blast zone would face grim odds of survival, with estimates suggesting at least 100,000 fatalities from the initial explosion alone. While the volcanic lava flows are expected to spread only a few kilometers from the epicenter, it's the ash clouds and gas emissions that pose the greatest threat to life and the environment. Consider the Mount Toba eruption in Indonesia around 74,000 years ago, which created one of the world's largest calderas, Lake Toba. That eruption hurled so much ash into the stratosphere that it triggered a volcanic winter lasting 6 years and led to a 1000-year-long ice age. This event decimated the global human population, reducing it to an estimated 10,000 people. A similar scenario at Yellowstone would be devastating. Ash showers from an eruption could blanket the American Northwest and Midwest, with some projections suggesting they could reach as far as Toronto to the northeast and Austin, Texas, to the southeast. These ash showers would be deadly for many people and animals. Volcanic ash isn't the soft, flaky stuff from a campfire. It's hard and sharp, like tiny glass shards. Inhaled, it can slice up lungs and create a cement-like substance in the body, proving fatal for humans and animals alike. Additionally, this ash could wreak havoc on machinery, disrupting planes and automobiles. The ash clouds would likely contaminate rivers, lakes, and streams, leading to widespread ecological damage across North America. And that's just the beginning of the potential chaos a Yellowstone eruption could unleash. The fallout from Yellowstone's supervolcano would be a nightmare scenario. Ash clouds could blanket much of North America, blocking out sunlight and plunging temperatures. This darkened sky would spell disaster for agriculture, severely impacting food supplies. The ash and gases would linger in the stratosphere for months, maybe even years, cutting off the sun's vital energy. Crops would wither, agricultural yields would plummet, and the specter of mass food shortages and famine would loom large. But it doesn't end there. The eruption's impact would make vast areas of North America uninhabitable. Homes would be destroyed, water supplies contaminated, and both crops and livestock would perish. The economic and environmental fallout would ripple across the globe, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. This is serious stuff, with consequences that could reshape the world as we know it. If all this sounds like a doomsday scenario, don't worry. It's the most dramatic worst-case scenario we could imagine. Experts assure us that any volcanic activity at Yellowstone will come with plenty of warning signs. Still, geologists have identified a massive plume of hot rock deep in the Earth's mantle, about 640 kilometers below the surface. This hot rock melts upper layers, creating pools of magma that slowly push the Yellowstone surface upward. Small earthquakes often relieve this pressure by allowing hydrothermal fluids to escape, causing the ground to settle. However, since 2004, parts of Yellowstone's caldera have been rising at nearly 3 inches per year. This upward surge leads many experts to believe that a Yellowstone eruption is a matter of when, not if. We will get back to this, so stick with us. Now, some optimists suggest that the eruption might be more like the 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption in the Philippines, which, while devastating, wasn't apocalyptic. Mount Pinatubo's eruption killed 800 people and caused over $200 million in property damage. Planes flying through the region encountered severe ash clouds, leading to further damage. While the Mount Pinatubo event was serious, experts warn that Yellowstone's potential eruption could be far more severe. Experts have been keeping a close eye on Yellowstone, tracking a series of mini-earthquakes that suggest a growing buildup of magma near the Earth's surface. This national park, home to the world's tallest geyser, is under constant surveillance. While the idea of a massive volcanic eruption captures our imaginations, like visions of Pompeii's fiery doom, the reality is that minor earthquakes and hydrothermal explosions are more immediate concerns. Yellowstone sits in a highly seismic area, making the threat of earthquakes a significant worry. The park's famous geysers are dramatic, but the real dangers lie beneath: earthquakes, tsunamis, ash clouds, and toxic gases. These hazards are far more threatening than lava flows. So what's the real story with Yellowstone? Will it erupt again? Almost certainly. Will it happen in our lifetimes? That's the big unknown. While the sensational image of a volcano blowing its top is captivating, the ongoing geological activity at Yellowstone presents a complex and unpredictable risk. Recently, Yellowstone National Park has also become a hot topic due to a notable increase in seismic activity. This increase in earthquakes has sparked curiosity and concern among scientists and the public alike. So what's really happening beneath Yellowstone's surface? Yellowstone has always been a geothermal hotspot, but the recent surge in seismic events is out of the ordinary. In just a few months, the park has recorded hundreds of minor earthquakes. This isn't just random, it's part of a pattern that's putting scientists on high alert. Historically, Yellowstone isn't a stranger to earthquakes. The region typically experiences between 1,500 and 2,500 quakes annually, most too small for humans to feel. However, certain years see these numbers skyrocket. Take 2017, for instance, when over 3,400 quakes were reported. One of the most significant swarms in recent history was the Maple Creek Swarm, starting in June 2017. This swarm lasted several months and produced over 2,475 earthquakes, reminding everyone of Yellowstone's volatile nature. What does this recent spike in seismic activity mean? Could it be a precursor to something more significant? To answer these questions, scientists use a sophisticated network of monitoring tools to keep a vigilant eye on Yellowstone's seismic activity. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, and the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, YVO, are at the forefront of this effort. They've set up an extensive monitoring system throughout the park, including seismographs, which are highly sensitive instruments that measure and record Earth's vibrations. These seismographs can detect even the faintest tremors, providing crucial data on the frequency and intensity of earthquakes. In addition to seismographs, Yellowstone is dotted with GPS stations that carefully track the slightest movements in the Earth's crust. By analyzing this GPS data over time, scientists can detect whether specific areas are rising, sinking, or shifting laterally. Another essential tool in this high-tech monitoring arsenal is satellite imagery. Satellites equipped with advanced sensors capture detailed images of Yellowstone's topography. These images help scientists spot changes in the landscape, such as rapid ground uplift. When combined with ground-based measurements, satellite data provides a comprehensive view of the geological processes unfolding in the park. So, what have these sophisticated tools revealed about the recent seismic activity? The data shows that the recent earthquake swarms are concentrated in specific areas, particularly around the Norris Geyser Basin and Yellowstone Lake. These regions are hotspots for geothermal activity, suggesting a strong connection between the earthquakes and the movement of magma beneath the surface. But the challenges don't stop there. Understanding and predicting seismic activity in a place as complex as Yellowstone requires constant vigilance and cutting-edge technology. The teams at the USGS and YVO are continuously analyzing data, searching for patterns and signs that might indicate an impending eruption. Despite all the sophisticated monitoring, predicting exactly when and where an earthquake or volcanic eruption will occur remains an elusive goal. The Earth's processes are incredibly intricate and often unpredictable. While we can track the movements and signals with advanced technology, scientists still can't pinpoint the exact moment Yellowstone might erupt and cause a massive disaster. The surge in earthquakes at Yellowstone is a stark indicator that something major is unfolding beneath the park's surface. With the USGS and YVO on high alert, we're kept in the loop about potential risks and what they could mean for the future. But there's more to the story. A hidden force is making itself known in Yellowstone. Recent studies have uncovered a rapidly growing dome-shaped uplift, signaling significant geological changes below the surface. What could this mean? Scientists have been keeping a close eye on Yellowstone, and the discovery of this uplift is both fascinating and alarming. Using cutting-edge satellite imagery and precise ground-based GPS measurements, researchers have found that the ground in a specific part of Yellowstone is rising at an astonishing rate. In some areas, this uplift is several centimeters per year, a rapid pace in geological terms. This dome-shaped uplift is a clear message from the Earth's interior, suggesting that magma is inching closer to the surface, creating pressure that causes the ground above to bulge. The magma chamber beneath Yellowstone is massive, and its movements can significantly deform the Earth's crust. What makes this uplift even more intriguing is its rapid rate of expansion. Typically, such geological changes happen over much longer periods. The current pace of uplift hints at intense magmatic activity beneath the surface. While we can't predict with absolute certainty, the signs are pointing to some serious subterranean activity. In recent months, park rangers have also noticed some peculiar behavior among Yellowstone's wildlife. Herds of bison, usually known for their steady and predictable migrations, are moving en masse away from the park's center. Elk and deer are venturing into unfamiliar territories, while birds are flying in unusual patterns, some even abandoning their established zones. These behaviors aren't just random, they form a pattern hinting that something significant is stirring beneath Yellowstone. The prospect of a super-eruption at Yellowstone is undeniably terrifying. It would be the largest volcanic event in recorded history, with the potential to impact the entire planet. However, scientists believe that such a catastrophic event is unlikely to happen in our lifetimes. While smaller eruptions with devastating consequences could occur, the massive supervolcano at Yellowstone likely won't wake anytime soon. But then again, who knows? Just like the dramatic hydrothermal explosion at Biscuit Basin, which erupted without any warning or signs, Yellowstone could surprise us. What are your thoughts? Is the Yellowstone supervolcano on the brink of erupting? Share your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.